It's unfair.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hey guys, how are you all doing today? So, Palpatine's signature move was Force Lightning. This was the attack that he mastered the most and was most famous for. In fact, he didn't even use his lightsaber much because he was so powerful in the dark side of the Force that he felt this weapon was just too limited in comparison to the power of the Force. He mainly used it just to mock the Jedi, but that's a different video for a different time. In the Legends novel Darth Plagueis, they stand in a large open field. This is where Plagueis teaches him about the origins of the Sith, then shows him Force Lightning, where we get a glimpse of the first time Plagueis actually teaches him and tells Palpatine how to use the power, which he becomes so masterful in. Now, unfortunately, there's no part where Palpatine uses it, and then we get to see in narration what he feels as he uses the power. Nevertheless, here's the scene for today's video in Plagueis' narrative.
A Jedi sufficiently strong in the Force can be trained to produce a facsimile, but not true Sith lightning, which, unabated, has the power not only to incapacitate or kill, but to physically transform the victim. Force lightning requires strength of a sort only a Sith can command, because we accept consequence and reject compassion. To do so requires a thirst for power that is not easily satisfied. The Force tries to resist the callings of the ravenous spirits. Therefore, it must be broken and made a beast of burden. It must be made to answer to one's will. But the Force cannot be treated differentially.
He added as a few final tendrils sparked from his fingertips.
In order to summon and use lightning properly, you will someday have to be on the receiving end of its power, as a means of taking the energy inside yourself.
Sidious watched the last of the brush fires burn out, then said, "Will I eventually be physically transformed?"
Into some aged, pale-skinned, raspy-voiced, yellow-eyed monster, you mean? Such as the one you see before you.
Plagueis gestured to himself, then lowered himself to the ground.
Surely you are acquainted with the lore. King Amin of Onderon doth Sion and Nihilus. But whether it will happen to you, I can't say. Know this, though, Sidious, that the power of the dark side does not debilitate the practitioner as much as it debilitates those who lack it.
He grinned with evil purpose.
The power of the dark side is an illness no true Sith would wish to be cured of.
So Sith lightning was something that could only be achieved when one felt the pain course through their bones themselves, at least in Legends universe now. I really like how Plagueis tells us just how Palpatine would become disfigured with pale skin, a raspy voice and yellow eyes just like himself, which is exactly what happened to him later on in episode 3. Now, I do wonder if that was his true face or not, as in the Revenge of the Sith novel, it's mentioned how Sidious says he'll miss the face of Palpatine, but has to now grow accustomed to this new look. It makes me wonder if the whole time that was Palpatine's real face or not, as he became more and more powerful in the dark side of the Force. Obviously he wasn't born with that face, so it happened later on. There's some really cool tidbits from the Darth Plagueis novel. I'm going to try to have another few videos about that from Count Dooku, Qui-Gon Jinn, and of course, Palpatine himself. I thank you all for watching today's video, everyone, and I will see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
the Force will be with you always.